Hey, free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So the developers actually got back, somehow they got back to me, and they need me to rectify something that I said. So I truly apologize. I acted on my own instincts. I behaved irrationally, and I'm truly apologetic about my behavior in yesterday's video where I spouted nonsense about the developers using their current assets in their up-and-coming Firelight game called AFK Journey. So you know what? I truly regret about saying that they use Shade Mother's likeness in AFK Journey. That is actually completely untrue. So I just want to clarify that is completely untrue. But yeah, I do have a screenshot that I want to show you guys just to clarify that Dislyte is actually really committed to giving us the best experience in Dislyte. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a look at this screenshot over here. Please help us clarify that the devs team and ops teams working on Dislyte and AFK Journey are entirely separate entities and their progress does not impact each other. Consequently, we will not share the design of Dislyte with the AFK Journey team. Essentially, they are not going to share what Shade Mother looks like to AFK Journey, so that was uncalled for, completely uncalled for, even though that was not the main thing about my complaint in yesterday's video. Now, we will not be allocating additional resources, that is funding, or prioritizing AFK Journey solely because it is a new game. Rest assured, we are committed to Dislyte and there is no possibility of us abandoning its development. Okay, so great stuff. As you can see, that was not Shade Mother. Anyway, yeah, I do have to mention that they approached me with this information, but they didn't approach me with the communication with regards to what Shade Mother was supposed to be, which is completely not addressed, and they have not addressed why Andros looks nothing like their initial Chinese god impression, right? And also they haven't said anything about the alternative espers or the reason why skins are as they are right now, and they have not even discussed about Celestial Anomaly. I forgot to bring that up, but there is no news about Celestial Anomaly as well, so I just wanted to let this information get out a little bit, just to give you guys an idea of the communication that they have prioritized for today. Alright, so anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at the PTR stuff. Alright, so we're going to take a look at everything that is new. We're not going to go too much into detail about everything, so I'm not going to discuss Andros all that much right now. I'll talk about Andros in the subsequent video, or the next video. But first, let's take a look at the brand new espers, which is what everyone's hyped about. Okay, so I am personally quite hyped about Hilda. I think her kit is pretty good, and she is by far, I think, the best poison esper right now. So let's take a look at her. Actually, you know what? I already have her, right? Let me just show you. Okay, so here we have Hilda, and let's start off with her first skill. Alright, so Sleep Tight attacks one enemy, the damage 20% plus 50% of her defense, which is, I think that's pretty decent, I think. Anyway, all of their debuffs plus 1 turn, inflict sleep for 1 turn. Okay, so this skill, I think, does not need to be skilled up at all because I don't think you want to build her for DPS. I might be wrong, okay, so there's a lot of speculation in today's video here. Second skill, Delirium, attacks all enemies, damage is 30% of attack plus 40% defense. Inflicts speed down and 2 turns of poison effects for 2 turns, yes. Two poison stacks for 2 turns, and inflicts sleep for 1 turn and extends poison. Extends poison by 1 turn. So she has extend debuffs on her first skill over here, right? And she also has extend poisons on her second skill, which is amazing because this is an AoE attack. So this increases her damage and then reduces her cooldown afterwards. So the best thing is to just skill up her second skill for the cooldown reduction and maybe just her third skill for cooldown reduction as well, and not her first skill. Dream Interrupted gains deep sleep for 2 turns, attacks all enemies, damage 50% of attack plus 50% of defense, inflicts defense down and 2 turns of 2 poison stacks for 2 turns as well, and inflicts 2 more poison effects on the enemy for 2 turns if the target's defense is lower than Hilda. So this is a really good combination, a really good synergy because of the fact that she reduces defense on herself, by herself, and then she'll apply the poison afterwards. And of course, let's not forget that this passive also does push her defense quite a fair bit. So at the start of combat, each 10% of her accuracy grants her 10% base defense, which means if she has 100% accuracy, she will gain 100% base defense for a total of 1160 defense, which is really nice. It's not going to be reflected over here because this only applies in battle at the start of combat. Now, effects inflicted by Hilda will not miss if the target's accuracy is not above her, so you will need to build her with 100% accuracy. I'm sorry that I can't manage it right now, or maybe we can take a look at whether we have some accuracy mains, so that should help. Alright, so what does Deep Sleep... Oh my god, it's a silver ring buff, I just realized. So this is actually dispellable. I thought it was a... Wait a minute, that changes a lot of things, isn't it? Because it's dispellable. So she's weak to Nusi, she's weak to Tricky. Okay, wait, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Inflict sleep for 1 turn and poison for 2 turns, at the start of any enemy's turn. We're going to take a look at how this looks like in just a little bit. So she has defense down and poisons here. Very nice. And now finally, she has a defense captain ability in Sentinel Hunt, Desolate Lens, Sonic Miracle, Ritual Miracle. I apologize for reading it backwards. I know I surprised you guys there. Now, moving on to the next new Esper, we have Adrena. I was actually pretty hyped about her, but going by the multipliers that she has, I am maybe a little bit disappointed, but she's a clown, by the way, look at that, she's a clown. Okay, but let's take a look at multipliers, right? So, attacks one enemy twice, damage is 10% of attack plus 2% of her max HP, which is 4% of max HP. That's not really good, and then she gains 1 stack of red chili afterwards. So, 4%, it's kind of sad, right? It's kind of sad. Okay, now her second skill, Covering Fire, Adrena's AP minus 99% at the start of her teammate's turn. Now, she performs assist attacks with her basic ability after her teammate casts basic abilities. When Red Chili stacks reach 2, she performs a pursuit attack on all enemies. Damage is 15% of her attack plus 3% of her max HP. Now, the pursuit attack has an 80% chance of inflicting stun for 1 turn, which is pretty okay. And when Red Chili stacks reach 3, she then removes her Red Chili and gains an extra turn afterwards. So, essentially, she'll assist on her first assist attack. And then her second assist is actually going to be a pursuit that does an AoE damage. But her third assist is actually going to give her a new turn, which then throws her into her third skill, which is Warmer's Welcome. Attacks all enemies 1 time, damage is 15% of attack plus 4% of her max HP. It's not a lot. Now inflicts defense down for 1 turn as well, and the fewer targets are higher damage. Grants all allies, excluding herself, 10% AP. Okay, so cooldown 2 turns as well, right? This is actually quite sick. So the thing is, even though her multipliers are not very good, but the thing is, because if you're able to channel a lot of her assist attacks, she's actually able to throw a lot of her first skill, which, like I said, 10% attack plus 2% max HP is not a lot. But yeah, we will need to test this out and figure out whether is she going to be like amazing or is she going to be sidelined forever, right? But for the time being, I'm actually quite excited to test her out with Brewster. And some of you guys also asked whether her minus 99% AP, is that going to affect your TA comps? Because if you run her with TA, then is TA just going to like push her all the time? I mean, it really depends. This completely depends. It could completely wreck you up. Okay, so let's test out Hilda in the VR Battlegrounds. Let's just see what her third skill is capable of, right? We want to see the interaction between her sleep and her poison below R6, because R6 is when she does not wake enemies up when dealing damage to them, which includes the poison as well. So we're actually going to use our third skill first, give ourselves the deep sleep, and let's just see how this works. Okay, they fall asleep, unless they get resisted, right? Wait, hold on. That seems kind of weird. Oh, I see. So the thing is, we did not put some of them to sleep because when she used her third skill, that actually applied poisons. So when they gain a turn and they put themselves to sleep, that actually didn't put themselves to sleep because they already had the poison from the initial blast over here, which woke them up instantly, right? So let's test this out one more time. Okay, so we're gonna pause real quick here and let's see. All the enemies have poison effects, right? So they all should wake up, logically speaking. Let's see. No, they do not wake up. So they actually continue sleeping. I have no idea why this is the case. The only time that this guy used his skill is because he resisted the sleep, right? So it is important to take note of that her deep sleep buff can actually be resisted. So yeah, that's something. We're gonna extend debuffs here. Let's see whether would they continue. Did they just resist the sleep? I see. Okay, so you can resist the sleep and that's how they woke up the first time. Alright, so that's actually quite insane. So the thing is, they take poison damage and then they go back to sleep. So they will not wake up. Which means that the synergy in this skill is actually perfect. The synergy in this buff is actually insanely strong. Like I said, they take the poison damage first and then they go back to sleep afterwards. Insane. This is actually really good. Okay, so apparently there is a bug in Adrena's kit. This is so weird. Okay, so Adrena is pushed back right now. This makes sense, right? Because at the start of her teammate's turn, she would then lose 99% of her AP. But, right? There is a huge but here. So let's take a look at weapons when we take more turns, right? So let's use our third skill here. We're going to give Clara a turn. That did... Oh! It was the immunity that stopped her from reducing AP. Oh, wow. Oh, that's an interesting synergy. Okay, so let's try this out one more time, right? So, she got pushed back 99%, and now we're gonna buff up again. And that pushes her AP down again, because right now she don't have the immunity, and therefore she's always like perpetually pushed down to 0%. She loses 99% all the time, right? Okay, so this is very interesting because the thing is she will never have 100%. Okay, it's not that she will never have 100% AP, but the highest AP that she can have before taking a turn is 99%, which means she's always going to lose all of her AP all the time, every single turn that your allies take, except when we are immune, like I've tested earlier on, right? So let's say now we are immune again. at least it's going to take the next turn, right? And you see that because of the immunity, she does not actually lose her AP. Okay, that is an interesting gimmick. Okay, but one more test for Adrena. I just want to see how her passive works. So let's say we use some normal attacks here. She's going to assist. She's going to gain one of that stack, right? Which is a silver buff, by the way. Silver rim buff, so it can be dispelled, which is 10% attack and 10% crit damage per stack for 3 stacks, which is very nice. So let's say we do this. Push her AP down further back, and then we use our normal attack here. She's going to assist. And she's going to gain 2 stacks, and she's going to AoE attack afterwards with 80% stun. Okay, that's not bad. Well, take note that the enemy's levels are rather low. That's why I'm dealing so much damage over here. But this is just more for testing purposes, right? So I think I can just push my AP. It doesn't really matter. But that's not going to reduce her AP anymore, right? Okay, but I think that's still fine. So we're going to use our normal attack here for the last assist. And she's going to gain a new turn. And she actually loses all her... Okay, there's a synergy issue here because she loses all of her red chili when she gains 3 stacks, which means she will never ever enjoy 30% attack and 30% crit damage. She has a cap of 20% attack and 20% crit damage and at any one time. That is a problem. That is actually a big issue in my opinion, right? So we're going to use our third skill, but we're not going to gain the effects of her buff. So it's going to look something like this. She has chilies for her clip, by the way. Oh, what's it called? Ammo or whatever, right? Okay, so defense break, I guess that's fine. But yeah, it's kind of sad that her third skill will probably not very often have 2 stacks of red chili. It's probably not going to be so likely at all. Unless we can prevent her AP from going up, right? Like giving her immunity. I mean, going down by giving her immunity here. So she instantly takes a new turn again. Oh! Because we killed the enemy, she wasn't able to assist and therefore she didn't get her third stack by using her first skill to assist, right? Something like this. If you kill the enemy, then she's not going to assist. So it's very important that your normal attack does not kill the target. Okay, so anyway, there are some other things that I want to show you guys. So number 1, the formation management. I think this is something that you guys are, I guess, kind of curious to know about. So we have the custom templates over here. We have 10 of them. And we also have something called the instance formation. So as you can see, Gaia's is the only Esper that I'm using in the story mode right now. As for Ritual Miracles, here are all of my teams basically, right? So each of these teams will have only one fixed slot. And this is how it looks like. So for example, let's go to APAP, right? So maybe in APAP, I do not want to use this team anymore. I can just go and swap it to any one of these custom teams. Actually, can I use the instance formation here? Can I use it like that? You can also use your instance formation. Oh, that's interesting. But I mean, the main point is that you can use your custom formations here and your equipments will still stay the same as they are currently equipped. You're not going to be able to shift your equipments around. But at any one time, you can actually just switch your formation back to whatever that it used to be. And yeah, so that's a really good thing in my opinion, right? And of course, this is going to be very helpful in point war, especially when you're going up against like either a tanky comp or a speed comp. So for example, let's go against this guy over here. We can actually just swap our team just like that. Very nice. But the thing is, by swapping it to this team, we are actually, do you notice that? Do you notice that? Do you see my custom formation has no equips over here? But right now, by using this setup, we currently have some equips. And the reason for that is because I already have PvP loadout enabled, and that's why we are able to equip those PvP equipment. But whatever that you're seeing over here is just possibly the last recorded equipment set. So for example, if we were to save this, oh, we can't save it right now, right? We have to design it in the formation management page. So we will only see like your PvE equipment sets, that's all. Now next, let's take a look at the theme show, and you will see that there is the first instance of an alternate Esper, and they have decided to use it in the form of a trial enemy, right? So you can see that the Lian right here, Jiao still Jiao, right? But she will take on a different form. So let's just swap our Espers around a little bit. Don't judge my team, it completely don't make sense. I just wanted to showcase the Jiao, the Lian over here. So a couple of things. Number 1, you notice that my Lian is actually sitting down right now. So her design has actually shifted. The idle animation that they have provided to her initially is actually replaced with this, which I think is a lot nicer. This is a lot cleaner. It's a lot more feel. I'm not super sure, but as you can see, the enemy Lian still retains the original idle animation. And yeah, this is like the ghostly version of her for whatever reason. So I've not actually played the story, so I do not know just yet. But I hope that there is a reason why this is the case. Okay, so the thing is, if they're going to provide alternate forms of Espers and in the form of a boss, then I think that's still fine. That doesn't really detract from the current status of the game. But if they're going to include an alternate Esper in the form of a gacha pool, then yes, that is definitely more problematic. Alright, so that was a trial. I didn't want to go too much into it as well. I got a C-score here, whatever. And let's take a look. We cannot end this video off without taking a look at Andrus, right? So it kind of sucks that Andrus shares the same alphabet as APAP. So now we cannot say K15, we cannot say K16, A16, F16. We have to say AP16, and we also have to say AD16, which is like, ugh, the sour taste in my mouth. Okay, so let's take a look at Andrus right here, and these are the Espers that I'll be using, and I feel like these Espers are not bad. I think Meredith is probably replaceable with Laura, but I will talk about that in a separate video. So we are going to take a look at all the 3 waves in Andrus here, and I apologize that you're going to see a lot of animations. So the first wave has 4 enemies, and it does seem like poison is probably the way to go because of the amount of HP that the enemies have. Not the first few waves. Like the first couple of waves, they are still fine. You can definitely blow through them really quickly if you have like maybe a dedicated Esper to run through each of the first 2 waves. But for the boss wave itself, you'll notice that the enemies have like a lot of HP. And now 5 enemies over here. That was not bad. The last poison pop was pretty good. Okay, so the reason why I'm using Jacob here is because all of these enemies, including the ads, they actually land AoE attack. So whenever they AoE attack your entire team, they are going to get many stacks of poison, which is something that we are banking on right now. Okay, so we got intoxication here, so just take a look at whenever the enemies take their turn, right? And they land their AoE attack. It's gonna be magical, man. I don't... What? Nothing happened? Wait, what? Why? Why did they not get poison? What's actually happening right here? Oh, okay, yeah, they are getting poison. It's just like an 80% chance or something like that, or is it a 70% chance? It's one of those. But I think Lien is not bad here for the shield, because do take note that the boss has gangrene, which means our healing received is actually reduced by 70%. So calculation was really done by Agni from my Discord server, so shout out to you. But you notice that whenever they take a turn, right, the amount of damage that they take from poisons, 100,000 damage, and we are only talking about Andrus 12 here. We're not even talking about Andrus 16. So I think in Andrus 16, the poison damage can easily go up to maybe 200,000, maybe 300,000. So poison will definitely triumph over non-poison DPS. And the thing is, I've also tested Intisa. Like, I didn't really want to disclose it just yet. I thought it was going to be like a smart move or something like that, but it's not the case. So I tried using Intisa and tested a DPS here, and she doesn't do a lot because the max HP scaling damage that she does, which includes Ollie by the way, is actually based on one single HP bar, not all the bars of Andrus HP. So what that means is you're only going to be dealing HP scaling damage based on like 20% of his total HP, which is very little. So Intisa is not a good choice here. So that was Andrus, and he's gonna drop like, you know, those new juicy equipment sets. But in most cases, I think it's actually pretty easy to deal with Andrus as long as you have poison espers. And as you can see, I mean, obviously I'm using Hilda here, but previously I did not use Hilda. I used Kara, I used Jacob, and frankly, that was good enough, right? So the thing is, if you need more healers, you don't really need to invest too much into expensive poison espers, although I do feel like Hilda is actually a really good Esper to use. And I'm definitely going to get her on my own main account. I feel like she has a lot of value, even below R6. Okay, but this is kind of interesting, right? So as you can see here, this is only Andrus 12, which means that the Blitz would actually shift a little bit, right? The Blitz consumption would actually change. But as you can see here, the minimum 6 Blitz is actually 50 turns, which is quite few. I was expecting this to be maybe like 100 plus turns, minimally, because we are relying on poisons. But yeah, we will see when we hit Andrus 16, maybe things will be a lot different. Alright, so anyway, that's it for the new content. I can't show you the Desolate Lens Shade Mother just yet because I have not unlocked all the necessary requirements, right? So I can't assess until I beat Andrus on 14, but I can't beat Andrus on 14 because I haven't done APEP on 14. So there's a lot of stuff and I didn't want to hold you guys back anyway. So hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now that's it. This has been Derek Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.